AITA for suing my boyfriend and breaking up with him after finding out he secretly filmed us and posted it online? This situation has completely turned my life upside down. I, 29F, recently broke up with my boyfriend, 32M, and decided to sue him after discovering something truly horrifying, and now I'm questioning everything, including my own sanity. I need to know if I'm overreacting or if what I did was justified, because some people close to me are making it sound like I'm the one overstepping here. A little backstory on us. We'd been together just over a year. In the beginning, everything seemed wonderful, and I thought I'd finally found someone I could see a future with. I trusted him deeply, and our relationship felt solid, or at least I thought it did. He was charming, funny, and made me feel seen. We had a close circle of friends who knew us both well, and I thought I knew him, too. I thought he was someone I could build a life with. He worked a normal job that didn't pay a lot, which was fine by me. I was in a similar financial position, and we often shared the costs of things. It felt like we were both working together to get by, and we had a kind of teamwork dynamic that I really valued. But over the past few months, I noticed he was acting strangely with his phone. He'd never been secretive about it before, but recently he was always turning it away from me or putting it face down, which he never used to do. I'd sometimes notice him checking his phone a bit too frequently, especially when he thought I wasn't paying attention. Another thing that had me puzzled was that he suddenly seemed to have more cash on hand. He wasn't exactly flaunting it, but he'd casually mention getting drinks with friends or buying something he'd previously told me he couldn't afford. When I asked him about it, he told me not to worry and said he'd picked up a side hustle. It was vague, and every time I pressed for details, he would just brush it off. I didn't want to be the suspicious girlfriend, so I decided to let it go, thinking that maybe he was just embarrassed about the work or that it wasn't something he was proud of. Still, the unease in my gut grew. I kept telling myself I was overthinking, that I had no concrete reason to doubt him. But there were too many little red flags, and the more he dismissed my questions, the more unsettled I felt. Last week, my gut feeling went into overdrive. I couldn't shake the sensation that something was seriously wrong. I was losing sleep over it, and my anxiety was starting to spiral. I felt trapped between trusting him and confronting what my instincts were telling me. Finally, I decided to check his phone. I know, snooping is wrong. But I couldn't shake the feeling, and I needed some kind of peace of mind. So, while he was asleep, I went through his phone. My heart was pounding the whole time, hoping I wouldn't find anything. But as soon as I opened a hidden folder on his phone, I felt my stomach drop. I found videos. Videos of us. Videos of incredibly private, intimate moments that I had no idea were being recorded. I remember staring at the screen, feeling frozen and horrified. There were so many questions racing through my mind, and the more I scrolled, the worse it got. Not only had he filmed me without my knowledge, but he'd been posting these videos online, for money. It didn't take long to find the evidence. There were comments from strangers, people who'd watched these videos, along with transaction receipts and messages. It felt surreal, like I was having some kind of out-of-body experience. Here I was, looking at proof that the man I trusted had violated me in the most intimate way possible. I couldn't believe he'd done this to me, that someone I loved and thought respected me could be so deceitful and predatory. The next morning, I confronted him. I didn't sleep at all that night, just sat there waiting for him to wake up. When he did, I told him I'd seen the videos and that I knew everything. I didn't even have the words to describe how betrayed and humiliated I felt. At first, he didn't even try to deny it. He admitted everything and said he needed the money. He went on to tell me he thought I would never find out, as if that somehow made it okay. What came next was even more infuriating. Instead of apologizing, he tried to defend his actions, saying things like, "Everyone's doing it these days," and "It's just a modern way to make money." He acted like I was overreacting, that it was harmless, and even told me I should be proud, because people loved us. The way he twisted it made me feel sick. How could he think I would be okay with this? Proud? Proud of being violated in the most personal, intimate way possible? I felt disgusted. I felt dirty. I felt like my trust had been shattered beyond repair. I told him right then and there that I was done. There was no way I could continue a relationship with someone who had such blatant disregard for my privacy, my consent, and my trust. I walked out, shaking and devastated. It wasn't until I had some time to process everything that the full scope of his betrayal set in. He hadn't just cheated or lied, he'd exposed my most vulnerable moments to strangers for money. I felt robbed of my dignity. After thinking it over, I decided that breaking up wasn't enough. This wasn't something that could just end with a goodbye. I felt violated in a way that I can't even fully put into words. I felt like he had taken something from me, something intimate and sacred, and sold it to the highest bidder. I needed him to be held accountable, not only for what he did to me but to send a message that this kind of invasion of privacy is not okay. So, I went to a lawyer and filed a lawsuit against him. We're pursuing him for invasion of privacy and emotional distress, and I feel completely justified in doing so. But here's the thing, some of our mutual friends have found out, and now they're making me feel like I'm the one overreacting. A few of them actually said I should let it go and move on, arguing that it's not like he physically hurt me. One friend even suggested that I should be flattered by the attention, that he was actually trying to help our finances in his own twisted way. Hearing those kinds of reactions has made this even harder. I'm already struggling to come to terms with the fact that the man I loved could do something so horrible, and now I have friends essentially telling me that I'm being unreasonable for wanting to hold him accountable. It's like they don't understand the gravity of what he did or how deeply it has affected me. Some of them even seem to think it's just the modern way to make money, as if violating someone's privacy is now socially acceptable. I keep hearing things like, it's just content, everyone is doing it, or, you didn't get physically hurt, so why drag this out? They make it sound like I'm being vindictive or dramatic for wanting justice. But to me, this isn't just about content. This is about my dignity, my privacy, my right to control who sees me in my most intimate moments. I feel completely isolated. I never expected that people I considered friends would dismiss my feelings and treat this betrayal as if it were no big deal. It's hurtful beyond words, and it's making me question who I can really trust. The only people who seem to understand are my family and a few close friends who have supported me without question. They see this for what it is, an unforgivable violation, and they've encouraged me to follow through with the lawsuit. The emotional toll of this entire situation is indescribable. I feel exposed, violated, and completely shattered. My self-worth has taken a huge hit, and I keep wondering if I'll ever be able to trust anyone again. Knowing that people, strangers, have seen parts of me that were meant to be private has left me feeling stripped of my own sense of control. It's like a nightmare that I can't wake up from. I keep replaying everything in my head, questioning myself, wondering if there was something I missed, some sign that could have warned me. But ultimately, this is on him. He made the choice to do this, to betray my trust for a quick profit. And I need him to be held accountable, not just for me, but because this kind of violation should never be minimized or excused. So here I am, asking for an outside perspective. Am I the asshole for not only breaking up with him but also suing him? I feel like I'm justified in wanting justice, but the backlash from mutual friends has made me question if I'm doing the right thing. This betrayal has affected me deeply, and I don't think I can just move on as if nothing happened. I need to know that what he did has consequences, that my privacy isn't something he can just sell without repercussions. So, AITA?